Okay, let's have a look at the introductions for the latest topic. It's a little bit late, but I had quite a lot of work to do yesterday, so better late than never, as they say. So, two-part question. Many people complain about commercial advertisements and their influence on children. Should it be controlled by the government? What are the possible effects on children? My sample introduction. There are many complaints about the effects that advertising has on children. So I'll just show you the paraphrasing. So many people complain becomes many complaints. Many people complain. Influence on children becomes effects that advertising has on children. Commercial advertisements, simply advertising. Yeah, so you can see how I've changed things around there. Mainly just changing the form of words: advertising, advertisements, influence, effects. Many people complain, many complaints. So next we have to briefly answer the question. In my view, because it is essentially an opinion essay, at least part one, in my view, state control of advertising should be implemented. In other words, yes, to stop children becoming, what's the possible effects, caught up in consumerism at such a young age. So I've answered question one there. State control of advertising should be implemented. In other words, yes. Possible effects: children may be caught up in consumerism, and that's what I would explain in paragraph number 3. So paragraph 2, I talk about why I believe the state should control advertising. Paragraph number 3, I talk about the dangers of children being caught up in consumerism. I probably say something about they pester their parents, they view things as easy, they don't learn the value of money, etc. Yeah, so that's probably how I would approach this essay. A great many people lodge about way. What? Hang on, let me put on some changes. Lodge about way of advertisement. No idea what that means. Is lodge, it's supposed to be complaint of the enormous impact on offsprings. That's no good as a paraphrase for children. So no idea. To my mind, though, it is considered new type of advertisement. What is it? What is it? It as a pronoun must refer back to something. It is considered new type of advertisement. Well, shouldn't it be a new type of advertisement? But still, I'm not sure what you're talking about. It is considered. What is considered? The question that's, again, should advertisements be controlled by the state? Governments should introduce legislation to advertising commercial commodities. That's not the same thing as products. So otherwise children are becoming, or children will become, it's not happened yet, will become rebellious. How does that work? And make their parents buy this product? Well, if it's plural, sure, it should be these products. Okay. The content of advertisements is one of the challenges among the people who are not satisfied regarding the impacts on the pupils. No idea what that means. Basically, that is nonsense. Pupils, children, not the same thing. One of the challenges, what kind of challenge? It doesn't say anything about a challenge. You said people complain about the effect that advertisements have on their kids. That's it. I believe it's essential to consider serious rules for what? For what? Rules for advertising. But again, it said, should the government control it? State control. And there is no doubt children and families are much acceptable to get involved about what? Get involved in in what? About negative content. That doesn't make sense either. No idea what you're talking about. Don't want to be harsh, but no idea what you're talking about. A number of individuals, you mean some people. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. Some people protest. Well, they don't protest. It's not the same as complaining about commercials and their effects on children. Okay, to buy them things. Okay, well, apart from that, yeah, that does the job. That's not bad. Not bad. That's it. That's all that you need. Some people are unsatisfied with commercial advertisements, adverse effects on their children. Okay, that's good. The government can outlaw advertisements which are harmful. Children don't buy anything. Parents buy unhealthy products because their children ask them to. Children don't go shopping. Children don't go to the supermarket. So that idea maybe needs a bit of a reassessment. Individuals are not satisfied with commercial advertisements aiming marketing at children's impact on them. Okay. To ban them. Okay, that could do with being a bit expanded, but that's concise and to the point. Okay. A growing number of people are not satisfied. It doesn't say it's growing. It just says many people. It didn't say number is growing or not. Effects on children, culture, people, advertisements, introducing products. Okay, that's pretty good. No complaints there. Just watch those verb forms, subject and verb. There is a debate about a lot of folks. No, there's not. There's not a debate. It's simply a statement. Many people complain. It's not a debate. It's not two sides. By a lot of folks, a lot of people. Folks is too informal. Don't use it. Commercial. Well, why is that spelled with a capital? Commercial, and it should be two M's and plural. Commercial advertisements. Impact on their babies? You mean their children? Not the same thing at all. The government ought to put some strict laws, or what do you do with laws? You make laws. Some strict laws which may reduce harsh perils on the offsprings. No idea what that means. That is nonsense. Harsh perils on the offsprings. No idea. In terms of a warning society about, okay, irrelevant, nothing to do with the topic. Some people are worrying about the effect of advertisements on their children. There are some effects which governments should solve with making some special rules for minimalising ads on everywhere. Minimalising ads. For example, the length of an ad or advertisement ought to be shortened the time it changed. Okay. If this problem will not be solved or cannot be solved, it might trigger since. What is that supposed to be? Signs. It might trigger consumerism in the growing generation. That doesn't work in collocation. You mean the younger generation or children, and it might also affect, not effect, affect the financial status of the family. Okay. Affect, effect, one's a noun, one's a verb. Make sure that you know which one is which. Different groups. Well, it's not different groups. It's some people. Not the same thing. Some people discuss. They don't. They complain. It's not a discussion about management. What's about commercial advertisements, of which the negative effects is young people, is clear, is it? I firmly believe that the government is in charge of control them frequently. No idea what that means. That is nonsense. I firmly believe the government should take charge and control them, maybe, but what you've written is nonsense. The advertising industry is a particular industry, so we need a definite article. The advertising industry, let's show you, that should be a capital. The advertising industry can tell average on different side effects on people. Okay, but it's some people are complaining, so that's no good. Which could have different side effects. What kind of side effects, particularly on children? Well, okay, now that's not what the topic says, not what it says. Some effective limitations considered by governments might be helpful to decrease negative consequences. Well, in the first step, assessing its diversity. Oh dear, nonsense. No idea what you're talking about. Examiner is not going to piss about. He's not going to waste his time trying to decode what you say. If it's illegible, irreadable, nonsensical, he's going to mark it accordingly. He's not going to make corrections like I do. He's just going to say, no, and he'll mark it accordingly. Nowadays, commercial advertisements, plural, are increasing around the world. You don't need your preposition. Many people believe his announcement, and again, that is irrelevant. Many people believe that these announcements, these advertisements are harmful for children, comma, well, other people, no they don't, no they don't, no they don't. It's not a discussion, it's not a debate. While other people say that the advertisements can help kids to know, well, not in this question, it doesn't. It simply says some people complain about advertisements' effect on kids. It's not a debate. There's no two sides. There's no some people say this, some people say that. It doesn't say that. In my opinion, I tend to express them. What? Tend to express what? What? So this essentially, again, I don't want to be harsh, but this is nonsense. It doesn't say that, it doesn't say it, and it doesn't say what's the advantages and disadvantages, and I tend to express them. What does that mean? You've got two questions to answer. Should advertisements aimed at kids be controlled by the government? Yes or no? And what are the possible effects of these advertisements on children? That's what it's asking. Nothing else. Okay. Well, irrelevant. Nothing to do with the question or topic. Last few decades, result of this become a moot. Right, okay. Irrelevant, nothing to do with the topic, and as a result of that has become a moot point in the eyes of parents. No idea what that means. So that's irrelevant, and that is nonsense. Doesn't say anything about that. Parents are always about their children, prone to be harming commercials when they believe. It asks, what do you think? It asks, what do you think? Go back to the question. Should commercial advertisements be controlled by the government? Not what does somebody else think? It's what do you think? They believe the responsibility of this falls upon the government's shoulders to formulate some policies when it comes to marketers' wrong actions. Marketers, they don't make right actions or wrong actions. They simply advertise their products. So, irrelevant. Nothing to do with the topic. You've not answered the questions. So, sorry. So, some of these introductions here are not very good at all. Take a look at my example again. I'll have to say this again because you keep making the same mistakes time and time again. Don't add anything. Don't take anything away. It's a statement. It's not a discussion, not a debate. It says, many people complain about commercial ads and their effect on kids. Should commercial advertisements be controlled by the state? Yes or no? What's the possible effects on children of these advertisements? That's it. And that's what I wrote. So, try it like that. Okay?